I'm Ohio media student and Great Elephant Production founder Denon Allen. I have a guideline for this documentary, but I'll pretty much be going off script for this documentary because it's based on true events in my life. A lot of it will be pictures pinpointing pivotal moments in my life and B-roll for the sake of the film not being uninteresting to the viewer. I plan on breaking the fourth wall and all the rules in terms of how a documentary is supposed to be filmed. Why? Because the title and the subject matter is my experience with epilepsy. And therefore, I'd like the film to be unpredictable as the condition actually is. I was born at OSU Hospital in 1977 to Miss G. Allen and Mr. D. Curry. Upon arrival, I went directly into a seizure. I was dead for the first minute and 37 seconds of my life that I entered the earth, and came back to life and was immediately diagnosed with epilepsy from birth. I spent the next 5 years of my life having multiple clonic tonic seizures, literally dying and then coming back to life. At age 5, I was sent to North/East Linden Elementary School at my grandmother's request. She told my mother the only way to stop me from repeatedly dying was to start actively living, and actively living fearlessly. So after multiple seizures, dying and coming back to life, sometimes it felt hopeless. My condition, it felt like I had to learn basic motor skills all over again. Walking, talking, and I always hated coming back from a seizure and slurring my words so much so that no one could understand what I was saying. It was difficult to come back from a seizure and not recognize my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters. They became strangers after a seizure, which I know hurt them a great deal each time it happened. I spent long periods of time in the hospital. Each visit, everyone would stay for visiting until visiting hours were over. And then they had to go home, they had to go back to their lives, school, job, and I was left alone in the hospital. I spent most of my entire life alone in the hospital. I spent time watching various people die of epilepsy. After spending long periods of time with them, getting to know them and their family, it really made me truly appreciate being alive. I watched so many people suffering from the same condition as me come to the hospital and never go home again. I felt so blessed to go back home after each time I visited. I remember feeling so bad for the families of the people I watched die.
Oh, hi. Told you I was going to break the fourth wall. So, what I'm going to do right now, right in the middle of the documentary, in case there's any confusion about what it is you're seeing, it could be confusing. It's confusing for us to come back from a seizure. So, I'm literally editing the film and critiquing as you're viewing it. So, what I'm going to try to do here is shed a little light on the situation during this fourth wall break, and I'll get you right back to the documentary. To give the audience a little background as I'm editing, re-editing, and critiquing. The film you're viewing, this version is not the raw version. This is the cut version because this is a school assignment and I'm affected by time restraints. But to make you understand that, epilepsy is confusing. When you come back from a seizure, you're confused. Life goes by in a daze of flashes. It's kind of like what you're seeing in the film. A bunch of pictures of life just flashing, passing you by as time passes. Each time it's more complicated to get back to normal, back to your routine, back to your family. So I want you to know and understand that I actually had a seizure during this film. It was complicated. You see me getting out of the bed within the documentary, and you're on the journey with me. You're either having the seizure with me, or you're coming back from it with me. Either way, you're with me. I'm going to get back to editing. You get back to watching.
I'm expected to die in my sleep of SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. The overall risk of dying for a person with epilepsy is 1.6 to 3 times higher than the general population. Yet I get up each day, love my kids, love my family, go to work, come here to school, film these documentaries, try to make my mark on the world. I've died multiple times. I've done a lot of dying due to epilepsy, but I always made sure that I tried to do more living.